Yo, yo, yo.
Hello. Hello.
It is awesome to be here. How is everyone here? Well, not many viewers, but who cares? Today is going to be a Borak session. It's all about, trading. It's all about investing. Just a little introduction, right? In case you guys don't know us, my name is Warren Howe. Here's
My
my
name is
partner,
Shafiq.
Shafiq.
Yep.
Awesome, Shafiq. We are Facademy. So what is Facademy about? Basically, we empower people. We're on a journey, right? We want to level the playing field for investors, for traders. What we do is we empower people on how to grow their net worth through stocks. And believe it or not, we can, because we have done it. Hopefully you can too. Now, so great. So today we're going to talk about FATA, right? The power of FATA. What is FATA, right? So just to if I can have 5 minutes, maybe I'll just introduce what is FATA to them, right?
Cool.
Yeah, so FA is fundamental analysis, as you guys know. Ta is technical analysis. So FATA in Cantonese is Fatat, which means prosperous, which means rich, right? So we all want to be rich. Use FATA, right? And we want to, the best thing about Academy is that we combine the two skills together, right? So I'm the investor, I'm the fundamental guy. I'm the I apply my private business experience, whatever investing experience that I have, I'll try to be implementing into stocks. That is what gives us an edge, because it's very funny, because a lot of people, they do not look at stocks as a business. They do not really understand the underlying fundamentals in a way that, okay, I'm investing in a great business, right? And some people, they panic sell when stock markets goes down for no reason, and they say they're just looking at stock prices, right? So today we're going to talk about that and how we're going to cushion that, right? And the TA guy, in TA is technical analysis. Fig, maybe you want to introduce them about TA.
I think technical analysis is quite well known, right? If you enter the stock market, probably one of the two things that you might know is either fundamental analysis or technical analysis, right? Actually, there's other type of analysis, looking at moon, sun, solar system, right? But just joking. But yeah, there's a lot of other analysis. But the normal one, the common one is fundamental and technical, right? So technical analysis is basically we look at the price, right? And while we're looking at the price, there's a lot of theory behind how the price move in the market, right? So we study the nature movement of price. We study how stock market move, right? By looking at by understanding the human psychology, right? By understanding supply and demand, right? And also by understanding how stock market works, right? So that is technical analysis.
Yep. So the power of FATA is actually to combine these both strategies, right? People, I've been talking about people who are new to the market and not looking at it as a business. But right now, I'm even talking about people who are already in the market, but maybe do not maximize their potential. Maybe not maximizing, because one person might be the full FA guy or girl. They could be looking at a business in overall, but TA comes in where, correct me if I'm wrong, right? TA comes in where we can actually place like a good entry. Looking at price pattern, looking at charts, we can actually see, okay, right, oversold. We can apply some strategies and say, okay, there's the entry point. So this is what we believe that, that's how FATA works. And we're going to go into a little bit into detail about that later. But yeah, end of the day, this is what it is. And the power of FATA is that when you understand a business well enough to say that, okay, this is a great business, right? You want to hold it 5 years, 10 years, that's great and all. But end of the day, not to say that's boring, that, I mean, it can get boring, but we could utilize, another set of funds to say that we want to be having short-term gains as well. And that's where TA comes in, right? Because TA, we can actually grasp better entry points and better exit points, like short term. And I'm talking about 1 day, 1 week, 1 month sort of things that we can actually play out on. So, right, Fig, we're going to be touching on
that. And some more, if you look at technical analysis, right, there's a concept of volatility, concept of momentum, right? That different, and later we will explain more about this, but those who are coming from my technical Tuesday, right, they probably familiar with my strategy, where I say that if you want to play a long-term trade, right, you want to make sure the trade is low volatility, right? If the trade is high volatility, right, it's better for us to short-term trade, right? But if we combine FATA, right, even though it's high volatility, we can still maximize our money, maximize our return. So that's the beauty things about FATA, lah, right? So yeah,
Nice, awesome. So just to
yeah,
let you guys know, we'll be going live every Friday, right? The main topic will be power of fata, or else otherwise stated, right? So let's say we decided to do a bullish thesis and on a particular company, then okay, we want to be doing that. Or there's a recent sudden announcement that market crashing, like we can grab on opportunities. We will be discussing that, right? But just to let you guys know, tune into our Fridays. Hopefully you give that that subscribe on our YouTube and like the power of the what's that called, the algorithm, right? YouTube algorithm to sort of get more value from and distribute to everyone. Hopefully you guys can share to your friends and family. Yeah, so let's get
yeah.
started.
Yeah, in another word also, this is
Mm,
basically walkthrough of our FATA, right? On how we trade, and this is basically like our weekly diary, lah, right? Yeah,
true.
and how we look at the stock market, right? And we discuss what happened in the stock market, and definitely, hopefully, this can be something that useful for everyone. Yep,
Awesome. So I think today agenda we will be, oh sorry, before that, right? We did a live last week.
true.
You want to be talking about, right, the things that we
Yeah,
talked about and what happened, so that we can get some comments on the floor if you guys have. And yeah.
yeah. Okay, maybe I share my screen. Right, just want to
Yep.
share some technical things. Right. So remember last week our topic is more about politics because that time, right, we just got a new prime minister, okay, got a new
Yep.
government, okay. So on that particular days we talk about that market going to be stable because how to say, yeah, I mean the worry already is resolved lah, right? The worry is already resolved, so people know that okay, we already got the new PM, no political instability anymore and whatnot, right? But that's why I think this week is actually pretty much good weeks, right? But today is quite actually it's okay, still okay, right? But quite slow lah, right? Quite how to say, quite bearish a little bit, but still okay, right? And in fact, the reason why today we see like market is quite bearish because they announced a new cabinet that not really a new cabinet, right? So,
Oh my god.
you know,
Okay.
I mean, we in Malaysia we know lah, right? I mean, there's a saying, right? The Albert Einstein once said that insanity is about expecting expecting a different result when doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's make market worry a little bit, but actually at the end of the day, right, how the market close and whatnot, I think it's still good. It's still good. I think market going to be positive. Yeah. Okay. Right. And here, right, our live last week is on 23rd. Okay. And uh, apart from talking about the general sentiment of the market, we also expecting that we can make a trade on political related counter, right? So yeah, it have been quite well lah. Okay, so if you look at political related counter that we touched last week, right? So you go up, not a lot, right? But around 5% like that. Along the way, right, there's a few, only like two counter that not go up, right? I think which one? Ten? No. Star not don't is not
Ah,
really more, yeah, right. And yeah, the other is move, right? And the return that you probably can make, right, if you buy on buying price in opening price is around 8 to 12%, right? So for example,
I'll take
CMSB,
that.
yeah, right. You see,
Okay.
CMSB in 2 days, right? Damn, 12%, right? You look at EFOS.
So you did mention this last week, right? Sorry, I forgot. CMBSB, you did mention that.
We did.
Okay, nice, awesome.
Yeah, 9%. Not bad, right?
I'll
for
take that, man.
2 days, right? Yeah. My EG, wow, chun, right? So yeah,
Okay.
right. So that is what. Luckily, we are correct on that. But actually, I don't like to take this credit lah, because you know why? Everyone know.
Yeah,
Everyone
that's
know
true.
that.
That's true.
This is like basically no brainer play. Okay, so hopefully you guys
Yeah,
make a
well, I
profit
mean,
here.
not a lot of people took advantage, so they
True,
can't
true,
complain. And
true.
but by the way, guys, I just want to put a quick disclaimer, and I think we should do that every show. We're not financial
Yeah.
advisors. We're definitely not your financial advisor. We do not know your risk tolerance. We do not, do your own DYOFDD, right? Do your own fucking duty, guys. Because, right, we are not financial advisors and we do not tell you what to do. These are not buy or sell calls. Please, please, right? Do not take it as such. But we are, we are Borat right now, right? We are flexing in a way also. We are telling people that, okay, it's a no-brainer play. We did this, we did that. But, hopefully you followed. But I mean, end of the day, when you follow, you don't just simply blindly follow, right? You build your own parameters, you build your own portfolio management, your own, right, position sizing, whatever it is. Yeah, I just want to say that before we begin. Okay, awesome.
And one more, Warren. There's a
Yeah.
one beautiful thing about last week, right? Because market is
Mm-hmm.
weak, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, last week, the whole week, market is
Mm-hmm.
weak.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did is we look at good fundamental counter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we build out our position. So yeah, like
Yeah.
what Rondi mentioned here, Gentech, right? So we build out our
Hey,
position on Gentech.
Rodney. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So we also build out our position in Kobe, right? JHF not really turned out well, but still position, right? And for trading, right? I just want to share like what we this is what we trade last week, right? So
Mm-hmm.
market open, I buy a one tech, Warren. By the way, Warren, there's a echo.
Oh, there is? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So I buy one tech Warren, right? I enter at 415 and out at 44. So the highest is I think 485, something like that, 25%. So that's why in Facademy and our Discord we also like joking like create a meme like, see, I exit too early, right? I miss out that opportunity, all this kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's still very fun, right? Yeah, that's pretty much the summary of what we did last week.
Guys, the GIF play in our Discord group is off the hook, man. Like I
Yeah.
literally laughing out loud whenever I see those GIFs, man. But yeah. So hey, Thomas is here. What's up, man? Hi, Thomas. Hope you're doing great. So where shall we begin? We talked about what happened last week, and hopefully you guys been on. If you don't, then hopefully you've been making good trades anyway. Where do you want to begin? You want to talk about today? Actually, I want to personally talk about a company that I've been invested since last year. I'm already having a 2x bagger, but the beauty about this company is that, right? I'll be touching a little bit about FA. The beauty about this company is that it's still good times, in my opinion, right? And this company is actually Planet 13, guys. So it's about cannabis. Who's into ganja, right? Guys, anyone invested in ganja here? Let us know. Right, haram for some people, but it's okay. Can I share my screen?
Can.
Okay, let me share my screen.
But I think before that, right, Warren?
Yeah.
I think we should share our opinion, like what we expect going to happen next week. I mean, what our expectation next week, right? How the market is, what happened in the market. What our strategy is. Yeah.
You talking about Malaysian market?
You can talk about Malaysian market first and US. It's okay.
Maybe you can go Malaysian market first, and what do you think next week?
Okay. I think Malaysian market already touched a little bit just now, right? I think market going to be okay. Market going to be bullish, and in fact, if you look at technical, but you haven't shared your screen yet, so maybe when I'm talking, you share your screen, right?
Okay.
So,
sure.
Actually, market looking quite good, right? I still remember in our community, right? our member panics lah, right? The first day the prices go up a lot, right? Second day the price drop, right? So I said this is still just a profit taking, so chill. Market still above the support and whatnot. So same thing to what happened today, right? Still above the support. And yeah, testing resistance. So hopefully next week we're going to break this resistance and we're going to see a better market, right? Going to be hopefully a bullish market lah, right? I think at the end of the day, right, coming to political issue, I think is business as usual, right? Same thing happened, right? I mean, previously our things like that, right? Then we tried to reshuffle and everything. It's still same like that. So we just hope that our COVID cases getting better lah. Because like what we mentioned last week also, that apart from political issue, right? The much more concerning reason why market is dropping, right, is because of COVID cases that out of control, right? So yeah, hopefully with the new reshuffle of cabinet, right, we can see a better days ahead. Yeah, but I actually I can say that I'm 65% bullish lah next week. Yeah, I can say like that.
65%.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I
Right.
mean, if I was to share my screen also, it'll be the same because my thoughts on I don't really look at macro much, and to be frank, the movements in S&P 500 is actually, to me, easier to predict in a way because we got seasonality, we have the catalysts, we have news. I just want to say that, am I sharing my screen right now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say that, the reason why the S&P 500 has been going up, all the way, especially in the Nasdaq, especially in the markets overall, is that they are catalysts, right? Although they taper stimulus, but there's still stimulus in play. Biden gave boosters, right? He wants the economy to be better. Interest rates are definitely going down again. There's no new thing, but there are catalysts of that for the US market to go up. But Malaysian market is the opposite. In fact, it's the direct opposite. And we were literally talking, literally today we are having our fund management meeting with some people, right? Some of our clients and all that, and we were just talking about, hey, we thought that the market is gonna go recover, but suddenly another political mess. Then suddenly the market is going down again. So
Yep.
May and June haven't been good overall. But what I'm trying to say right now is that I can't really predict as such, and I don't really like to do that. It's just that my thesis is still in play that September gonna have market weakness in my opinion. But if it doesn't, I'm still gonna be holding cash anyway. But that's where that's why I like holding cash, right? I like holding cash a little bit, 30% or 20%. Or to be frank, I'm not so high. I'm actually 15 to 20%. But the thesis is still playing out that there will still be correction because of, and we expected D variant, and D variant did mess up a lot of trades, right? Especially on
Yeah,
the
I'm quite
recovery
interested
plays.
about Delta variant, how it works in US. What's the expectation there?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So we just have to see how it plays out. But end of the day, we have to be cautious about D variant. But end of the day, we still need to be. I mean, it's still the same when it comes to FA. Identifying a great business. If it falls down on price chart, then if it hits the support, we can combine that with TA. And a perfect example is Square, right? So Square is I'm still sharing my screen, right? Yeah. So Square is a perfect example of that, where we are seeing hit down because during May, right, inflation, all tech stocks got hit, right? March, May, another second round, all tech stocks got hit. And this is a time where we were seriously, noisy. NAV of the US, our public portfolio got 140K instead of 190, or the top is 208. This is a time where we were noisy as hell. We were literally telling everyone that, hey guys, have you been doing your thesis, right? Are you in a position of power? Are you identifying the companies? Is this a good price point to buy? We're not forcing people to buy, but we're actually telling people, guys, this is what we're doing. We're buying, right? We personally buying. And we did. So sometimes investing and trading don't have to be too hard, right? All we have to do is just literally follow up on a stock. follow up on the stocks that we want to have, and it could be just like these few 10, right, or 20, whatever it is. You follow up on the stock, you do the fundamentals on each stock, and you sort of want to gauge that, okay, now is a good time to buy because you are cushioned anyway from fundamentals, right? You're believing the valuation in 5 years' time. And when you see, I'm not trying to say like time the market in a way that, okay, if it goes down and we're catching the knife, but in a fundamental wise, this is cheap, right? This is a good price point. And sometimes investing can be easy in a way that if we manage to capitalize on a dip, we can easily gain like 15%, 20%. So I'm not trying to be cocky and all, but if you're in the market more and you're really following up on stock, like literally like really following up, right? And sometimes we just need to be looking at stock prices because we want to see that, okay, are there opportunities right now, right? So from the highs, Square fell down, 8%. But that's not even like a dent, in my opinion, right? A huge dent will be another major catalyst for it to go down on the news that D variant is, causing another sort of mess, right? Other than inflation. But when I see market sentiment like inflation, I believe that it's, transitory. We've been talking about that, right? I believe it's short term. And end of the day, it's backed up by, right, everything else that is catalyst in the market. What happened, right? Stock price went up. So the beauty about Fata is that we are having that cushion already, right? We are really realistically looking at the sort of so-called intrinsic value of a particular growth company or a value company, right? We are looking at where it's gonna be in 5 years' time and why should be buying more or just holding. We need a buy plan, sell plan, and this is the beauty about FA, right? Yeah, I hope that makes sense. What do you think about that, Fik?
Cool. But maybe I also like to know, like, you said about catalysts in the market, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in Malaysia, we don't have such catalysts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do you mind to share what the catalyst is?
You mean what, for the market to go up?
Yeah, for Malaysia, for US market, because you see,
Yeah.
right,
So,
in US, even that market like on the correction, right, because of worry of COVID cases or not. I mean, yeah, what's the catalyst?
so definitely, I mean, this is either systematic or unsystematic, right? Risk or catalyst that there are good earnings for particular companies. Yeah, that's number one. Number two is that the overall market sentiment that, right, in hopes of recovery is actually more realistic right now. That's why you see suddenly Airbnb going suddenly like sky high on one day, right? You see Airbnb, which is actually a thesis that we built out on and we went live on it I think like a few months ago. But this suddenly went up is because that was on the hopes that, right, recovery play is in. Boost the vaccine booster that Biden announced was a few days ago from here. That's a catalyst, right? Big money flow is saying that, okay, yeah, it's a matter of when, not if, that there'll be recovery play again, and travel, leisure stocks will be going up. I mean, will be better over time. Then that's a catalyst, right? Low interest rates, huge catalyst, right? What else? I mean, these are the sort of catalysts that I've seen so far. Other than that, maybe ISM reports on factory. A lot of companies are actually affected by chip issues, chip shortages issues. But looking at those reports, we can actually see, okay, there's huge progress, right? Supply is actually keeping up to demand, and that builds up with our thesis initially, because the thesis was that everything is just short term, guys, right? Why are we panicking? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, so these are the sort of catalysts that overall that will push the market, in my opinion. Yeah, but end of the day, like, these catalysts are good as traders because we are in it for the short term. But if we want to be like looking at the core or like a bottoms up investor, end of the day, it all boils down to, right, the fundamentals of the company and how deep of an understanding we
Into the
understand the
business.
business. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So so that is basically investing and fundamental, right? So how Fata works, right? So I just like want to introduce what is Fata, like in more detailed explanation, right? So a lot of people actually not realize that technical, right? Not how to say, technical we look at stock price or not, right? But actually the first like founding father of technical analysis, right? Dow, right? He also actually indirectly looking at the fundamental, right? So if you guys know that Dow developed a Dow theory, right? He's not writing a book or something lah, but he just sharing his thought in his as columnist, right, in newspaper. So the idea is pretty simple, but actually it makes sense. And this is basically when I tell my student, right, I say that like the titan of technical analysis, Dow, Elliott, Wyckoff, right, all this, they have a different approach and in technical analysis, but at the end of the day, right, all this approach is actually something that we can apply even until today, which is that's the beauty thing about the theory lah, right? So according to Dow, right, the reason why he invented indices in the first place, so those who do not know, before that we don't have our Dow Jones index, before that we don't have our transportation index, we don't have S&P or not, right? But Dow create the index, right? And in Wyckoff, he have another name to call this. If I'm not mistaken, I forgot. Sorry. But they create index, right, to see the composite movement of the whole sector, right? So if you really think about it, right, why the reason Dow look at index, right? Because he understand in the stock market is all about business, right? So all about fundamental. And during his time, right, train is basically the only communication way, right? The only way to transport the raw materials and whatnot, right, across the country. So if you, right, want to see whether the production going to be better, the demand going to better, what is the benchmark that you can see, right? It comes from the transportation index, right? So that's why during Dow time, right, there's a two index that he looking at, right? The main index that he looking at is Dow Transportation Index, right, or Dow Transportation Average, and Dow Jones Industrial Average. Yeah. So industrial average is basically they use a combination of few sector, right? So basically what he did is simple. It's simple in trading, right? In long-term trading, simple trading, but he look at, okay, if transportation going to get better, right, it must be because of the higher demand. It must be because of higher production. Higher demand, higher production means that companies, factory company, all this doing better, right? So we expect a better performance and whatnot. So eventually, all these company will follow up. So you see how actually fundamental and technical it is actually related, right? And not many people that I see when they talk about Dow theory, right? They pinpoint that that things, right? That actually the basis idea of Dow theory is trading, right? By understanding the fundamental. I think this is like, yeah, this is like the beauty of it, right? So in our time, right? We of course we not look at the train index anymore, right? But in our time, it's much more complicated. But meaning that we need to understand how our generation works, right? How the business during our time works, and that's why I think that's why we can see growth counter moving up. I mean, on the cycle, tech counter on the cycle, because this is the next thing, right, in our generation, right? So, do you agree with that, Warren? Maybe
for sure.
Yeah.
But how I thought of Fata actually is that although it's a smaller scale, but more specific. For example, we're going to do like Planet 13, right? Planet 13 is in their own world. They have growing potential. Their numbers proved it in the recent quarter. They're in a growing industry, right? So that's important. All these factors come into play. And that is what we need, like that triangle that we reveal, in our Buddhist thesis, is that we need that triangle to say that, okay, from the top down, they're in a, definitely not a sunset industry. they're definitely growth catalysts in their own specific business, right? And I don't care about market sentiment in that play. I'm talking about that specific, industry itself. I'm talking about their progress in terms of their construction of a new superstore, which is in Orange County. I'm talking about their potential to, because they're vertically integrated, right? So cannabis companies, not a lot are vertically integrated. That means they plant their own flowers, they manufacture their own products, they distribute, they sell it retail, and they're actually selling experiences, right? So my term of fata is more in a, like, you can say, smaller scale, but effective because it's concentrated, it's focused, right? So when we have FA on that, then only we look at the charts and say, okay, it's beaten down because of earnings, and it always happens, right? We could capitalize on that. On a FA point of view, I'm going to be buying anyway, so I'll buy. But on a TA perspective, you want to be safe to say, okay, maybe you want to see a few candles first, then you go in. But if both of them, sorry, if both of
Too
them match,
excited.
so if both of them match exactly on what happened to Dropbox, that would be like you know what I mean? Like, damn, I
Yeah.
want to be going big, right? So that's what I mean by fata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, that is basically like just the big picture of Fata, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
that's why my understanding on Fata again, right, is like, okay, so let's say we are we are we are convinced we believe that Airbnb is good recovery play, right? So we
Yeah.
want to invest in Airbnb, for example, right?
Mhm.
So from the fundamental standpoint, we want to build up our position. Okay,
Yeah.
but from technical point of view, right? Technical point of view, we can play with money management. We can play with the technical analysis itself, right? Few technical strategy: buy on dip, buy on breakout, pull back, momentum trading, all this thing, right? To building up our position in a safe way, right?
Mhm.
And I think this is something that we already did, right? I mentioned that last week, or actually last month, right? Yeah, last month or last 2 months. I think last month. We do this on, for example, Kobe, right? I still
Kobe
remember.
Bay.
Yeah, Kobe, Kobe, right?
Siang is asking, can Kobe go to $10? Oh my god,
Uh,
dude.
looking
Anyway.
at the chat, I think still got the potential to go to 10. I don't. Looking at fundamental, I believe Hong Leong recently shared their TP7
Uh-huh.
or this, like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm not really a fundamental guy, but you can build up your valuation on that, right? And yeah, you're right, the
Mm-hmm.
trend. So what we did, right? I still remember, right, during the price is if around 2 ringgit like that, right? A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people say that, wow, this already expensive, right? You see the price is really volatile, right? Go up 20%, go down 20%, right? Just a matter of this. So this is where we apply our fata, right? We know for sure, right? Or we have a high conviction that Kobe can reach a certain valuation. On that time, our valuation is 4 ringgit, which is already exceeded now, lah, right? So during that time, our valuation is 4 ringgit, and we want to build up. So 2 to 4 ringgit is 100%, guys, right? So uh, yeah, so we building up our position, right? Because this is high volatility counter, right? There's a one or two entry based on technical that is actually out of tune, right? Because it's too high volatility. But that's why the fundamental come, all right? Again, this is for 4 ringgit valuation, right? And at one point I buy at 2 ringgit 30 cent like that, right? So the price go up to 3 ringgit and drop back to 2 ringgit 20 something, right? So what I did is I take a little profit here, right? Sorry, I not take a profit here. I take profit around 2 ringgit 70 cent. Just want to save just a small part, right? And when the price drop, I buy more, right? So At one point I buy at two ringgit 30 cent. At one point I buy 2 ringgit 60 cent. At one point I buy I build up, make a lot of entry there, right? So what I did is those, for example, my lowest entry is 2 ringgit 11 cent, right? And there's another entry 2 ringgit 30 cent. So when the price go up like this and down like this, right? My thought process is, okay, I will going to secure my position which I buy at 2 ringgit 30 cent first, right? Because if the price drop, right? Looking at the technical, it's possible for the price to drop to 10-20%, 10 to 15%, right? So what I did is I sell those position. Let's say I buy 10 position, let's say, right, on 2 ringgit 30 cent. So I sell that 10 position, but the position that I buy at lower price, right? Because my belief that this counter can achieve 4 ringgit during that time, right? Based on fundamental valuation, I hold this position, and in fact, I take this profit, right? And I looking for re-entry, and this is what we did, right? So when the price drop, buy, right? Then we see it's fly like wow, cow lah, shock lah, right? Because the thing is like you at the same time, right? You want to be safe, right? From technical standpoint, you want to be safe, you want to be risk averse, right? But at the same time, you also need to have that how to say, the margin of safety from the fundamental, right?
Yep, that's right.
that can propel the best out of our.
That's exactly the same
position.
word I wanted to use. Like that will propel you to be holding on. But I'm guilty lah. I didn't hold Kobe all the way. When it comes to Malaysian stocks, right, I'm fucking paper-handed as fuck, dude. I don't know why.
Trauma, bro.
and Rondi is effing me up on that. He's chewing me up on that like constant, man. Like I'm so paper-handed when it comes to Malaysian stocks. Yeah, so that's my bad. Shit. Kobe has been climbing up all the way. And Hong Leong is using like I think 40 PE 2023 returns, and that will be more than I mean, if you peg like a 30 PE on 2023, that will be like $10. So it all depends on us, whether or not we believe they can go there, whether or not we determine that they can really achieve the progress. I think it's around 1B market cap, something like that. Kobe, ringgit, yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
but yeah, then again, I was paper-handed, but what we are trying to explain is that the power of FATA is fundamentals are cushioning it. Fundamentals are determining that we can play around on dips, right? And that's exactly what happened on DNO, right, Fig? Like you were trading DNO, Warren. It goes down. We have the conviction to buy simply because that, okay, fundamentals are there, margin of safety is there, so we buy. Going up, but then again, we need. I mean, in my opinion, we need, if we are building out like a FATA position, we need to be okay. Buy low and then sell high all the way, and that sell high in fundamental wise could be 3 years down the road. But sometimes we want to maximize portfolio, so we can add another tranche just for TA's perspective, and we can ride off the waves, right? So you see where we are getting at, guys.
Yep.
So that is like the real key of FATA that we are trying to say, right, Fig? I mean, that's essentially what it is. We buy a huge chunk or whatever chunk that you position yourself in at low, and you determine, okay, 5 years later, 2x, 3x. But Manatao, 1 year time, it's already 2x. Yeah. Then we could be still holding that position. But then again, it is so solid based on updated quarter earnings. We want to be building another tranche, and that other tranche could be TA perspective. It doesn't have to be FA already. We can be flexible and saying, okay, 1 hour later or 1 week later, we are riding off the market trend, and that's where you come in, right? You want to be taking profit, and we're fine. We could even have a strategy to be just taking our capital back and letting all the profits run, right? So that's the power of FATA that we want to be talking about. And
and sweet thing also, right? When Malaysia trader have all this. They already have this mental block lah, right? That to make a profit, we need to trade goreng counter, trade chip counter and whatnot, right? I was on that position, right? But the more I understand the market, right, actually Market is not move. It's not. It's more than that, right? That's number one. And number two, right? Um, if you really understand the fundamental, right, you build up your position, right. Along the way, you ride the wave, right. You ride the technical movement, right. The that is a good position because at least from technical standpoint, right. Let's say lah, if anything happen, you can ride all the way because you believe on the fundamental. Means that if you make a wrong entry, right, you can decide to exit or not. But if you don't want, right, you can yeah, you can turn that to investing because
Yeah.
at the first place, right, you understand that is a very good fundamental counter, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and from technical also, right, I repeat again lah, the volatility is very important because if you recognize volatility, right, if you recognize trend, right, you can play it very well. If you imagine like Kobe counter with like high volatility, but the trend is steady, right? They do if a lot of people they afraid to build up position in here, especially for trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially when the price is 3 ringgit, 2 ringgit, right? But again, if we look from both technical and fundamental perspective, right? Actually, this is very safe trade, right? You see the trend is steady, right? Is volatile, means that we can play
Playoff.
our
Yeah.
position in and out, in and out. But that's a good thing, right? Let's say if a counter that we build up our position based on fundamental have low volatility, right? Not many up down, right? Meaning that what we can hold all the way up based on fundamental. That is the pretty things lah about Fata.
That's
Do you agree
pretty.
with that?
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
All we need is like seriously, we can be identifying 5 solid counters like Tesla, Square, some other like Facebook. We can even ride off the waves based on that. And like you said, volatility is very important, right? Because the swings, if it's big enough, will be meaningful on a TA perspective, but on a FA perspective, we are holding a great company, right? So you guys will see us repeat the same thing over and over again every week, maybe. but that's the beauty of the fucking thing. Like we want to be having this, and all we need to do is just be identifying. So that's what I'm trying to say just now. That investing and trading can be easy,
Yeah.
right?
Dude, some more. I want to share this lah. This is
Okay.
you know about this?
Yeah, I know about this.
20 years old, turn 20,000 to 1 million, right?
Yeah.
And his strategy is very simple, right? Right? He look at few counter like
Big cap, right? He was
yeah,
he's talking Tesla. Yeah.
big cap, Tesla, and ride
Yeah.
the trend.
Yeah.
That is the strategy, right? You don't need like
You
all
don't
this
need to be
like
fancy.
yeah,
All
no
you
need to
do is
be
stick to a few strategies and get your money
consistent.
there. Hustle
Yeah.
your fucking way, guys. Come on, like I mean, and I don't know whether he pumped in money because that is very familiar. That story is a bit familiar. Why is it familiar? Is familiar with our own story where we started
Yeah,
with
true.
10,000 ringgit and we grew that to a certain amount. But obviously, we have to admit that we are on the concept of earning money, saving money, investing, right? So we've been dumping in money anyway and utilizing that cash because instead of holding cash out there, we're putting in the stock market, and we are fortunate enough to be having some gains. I don't know if that guy has been like fully on trading gains. Maybe he has, but he's been revealing to people that that's his strategy.
Yep.
That is because he's limiting the downside. He's managing the risk because in the stock market, whether we like it or not, there's risk, right? So yeah, that's a good example. I forgot about that. I read that
Yeah.
and then I yeah, I discussed some time ago.
We say when we read this thing, we say that wow, this is exactly exactly our things lah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's
again,
true.
at the end of the day, investing or trading, right? Money management. I mean, your trading system or your investing system is really important lah. Do you know there's a story, Bill Huang's story? You know, right?
Sorry,
Bill Huang,
the legend.
the legend, the big losses.
Yeah,
In
the
2 days,
the
he
up
lost.
down. Yeah,
Yeah, in 2 days
crazy.
he lost 20 billion, right?
Yep.
Yeah. If you look at his strategy, right? Actually, his strategy is how to say, he at one point when the amount is still very small, right? Actually, his strategy is makes sense. He do concentration on few counter that he looking at fundamental, right? And he write the trade, right? By using swap, meaning that he take a leverage. At one
Yep.
point, the reason why he lost is because he don't have, I think he don't have a exit plan lah. He too,
Margin call. You
yeah.
know
I
why
mean, he
hedge
don't,
funds
yeah.
lose big money, right?
Yeah. My point is he don't have like exit strategy because like he too, we have like financial bias that okay, our position is, I mean, our analysis is correct or not, right? You know that before he being called for margin call for 20 billion, right? Bank already asked him to get out when so
Yep.
that he can reduce the losses to 10 billion and at least he can still uh recoup again lah, right? He still have capital to recoup again, but he didn't do that, right? So that is his mistake, right? But if you look at even the strategy that this guy used, right, and this guy is one of top um, investor and trader, right? In US they call him like Tiger Cup and whatnot, right? So yeah, you watch you read the story or not? It's very interesting,
Yep.
but same thing, right? All these big guy, they also have like very simple strategy, right? And that's what matter.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. That's true.
Yep.
All you need is like a few and just be. The most important thing is to be constant and be practicing that so we can stick on the same one and then
Yeah. And
um
being mindful lah, so that so that
I
you,
think
yeah, being mindful with management.
I think what we can do is like, okay, if we are long investors, and I'm talking about not even trading the short, right? Because people they take advantage of the short, right?
True,
Hedge
true.
funds and all that. If we are just long investors, what we can do is that, okay, all we have to do is to be patient. When there's a huge dip for whatever reason that doesn't really affect the market, and if the market is on a, because if we want to be safe, we want to see a few candles to say that, okay, market is slowly recovering. We can be that guy to say that, okay, the overall the general direction of the market is going up. We will be now buying more. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because right, we can be that. All
True.
we need to do is just be patient, because in 1 year time, don't tell me there won't be dips. There will be whatever the
True.
F reason that there will be dips, guys. Come on. Katie Wood is selling money right now. Whatever lah. Like inflation is coming out right now. D variant is up right now. Interest rate and the yields are slowly climbing up. When the interest rates are going up, wow, value investors are coming in. Oh, I told you so, right? Growth stocks cannot one lah. Value play is the way. F you lah. Come on, okay? F you. That's why I'm saying, like, on May, that time, March and May, what were we doing? We were fucking buying, guys. And I'm telling you, we are noisy as hell when the market is going down. And I mean, it's playing out, right? There's the overall market condition and the catalysts are going up, and that boosted it up. But end of the day, it's all about fundamentals, right? It's all about the core underlying, to say that, okay, Square, for example, right? Huge user adoption, growing, right? Growing revenues. Planet 13, growing revenues triple from 2020. And oh my god, we took 1 hour and I still haven't even talked about Planet 13 yet. But what I'm trying to what I'm trying to say, guys, is that we can even have these strategies. Seriously, just be patient. Just be patient enough and wait, right? And especially if you're a very busy person, all you can do is not really monitor the market a lot. You could be utilizing, right, and just be looking at the market. Okay, what's happening, right? Being in the market. That's why it's important. What's happening? Is it stupid news? Is it stupid market sentiment that is just like temporary? Building a thesis, it goes down. What do? You build a tranche. If it goes down again, you build another tranche, provided that it's a good company. If it's recovering, well, that's when we're gonna be going big. And what do hedge funds do? What do great investors do with huge leverage? They use margin money to be going in there, right? They'll be really securing it because they've been in the market for so long already, right? We could be that. I mean, just clarification, we don't use leverage money. We don't use margin money, although we should have on 2020. But yeah, anyway, yeah, right. So that we could do that. We
Yep.
could do that. Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, anyway, So we want to keep all our lives within an hour, right? I mean, we're really thankful for everyone to be joining our lives. Maybe I just take a few minutes. Can we have a few minutes, like just talking about Planet 13 in a way?
Can. But before that, I want to add something that you said that
Okay.
just a little bit lah, right? You know that
Okay.
we need to be in the market, right?
Yeah.
But to be in the market, right, you need to have a lot of perspective, right? To have a big perspective, it means that you need to have people together to trade lah, right? To invest, meaning that you need to have a community that can discuss the same thing, right? You need to have friends, you need to have maybe family, right? You need to have
Hmm. Hmm.
circle to discuss about this, so that
True.
you can open your mind, right? What to invest, is it markets safe and whatnot. There's a lot of debate going on, right? Me and Warren like when we on call like, bro, how the market? I sometimes I very sometimes you say, oh, bro, no, like that, right? A lot of ideas, right? But
Yeah.
that's what makes investing or trading fun, and that's what makes getting better, right? So don't trade alone, right? You need to have a community, right?
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
That's very true. Like we believe that investing doesn't have to be alone. We need to be leveraging off people's ideas, our friends, our circle of friends, and there's only so much we can cover, right?
True.
And we need that sort of that reinforcement to say that, oh yeah, that's true, right? I agree with your thesis because that is what I developed. So if you see it, then it's encouraging, right? So yeah, I totally believe in that. And what we do is, oh, you know what, we have a community. If you're interested, you can you can go find out. But yeah, essentially that's that. That's what we do.
Right. So Planet 13.
Planet 13. So it's going to be a quick one, guys, because we want to be, limiting within an hour on all our lives. I just want to share that, Planet 13 is amazing. I mean, this is a company that we've been building up ever since, last year. I even wrote a thesis before. Right now, you can see Planet 13 triples revenue in Q2 to 32 million. Now you're thinking, 32 million is a very small company, market cap of under 1B, is around 900 plus million. But end of the day, look at these numbers, man. These numbers are amazing. Like revenue from Q2 is up 205% compared to 2020. Adjusted EBITDA is already profitable. Now, when we talk about growth companies, when we talk about losing money companies that are still within that S curve, right, very slow in the S curve, still sort of climbing up, I look at EBITDA, man, and when EBITDA is profitable, it's a turnaround story, right? That it's only a matter of time the net income will be better. Now, the bad thing about cannabis is that there's high tax, very, very high tax, right? But damn, this is really good news when we talk about the numbers. So the thesis was that I'm going to share you guys a little bit about the original thesis of Planet 13 is that on 2020, even though COVID hit, they still not only survived, but they increased revenues more than 2019. Okay. So when we look at Yahoo Finance, we can see 2019 total revenue 63 million, 2020 70 million, even with COVID there. Okay. What will happen? And that you got Fig, I want to be saying something. Okay. When I mean, in my position, or I don't know about your TA position, but when I have a FA position thesis built out, you have no idea how satisfied I get when that thesis plays out. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like when I build a thesis
Makes sense.
and project, earnings expected to be better. In Vegas, because they're superstores in Vegas, right? So they basically have like a Disneyland for adults. You can read my thesis on Stockbid, and you got any questions, you can DM us, let us know. But the thesis was that even during a COVID time, they're still earning good, right? And they even established that send to door strategy. They'll be delivering to you, right? You want to be having a good, nice vape on cannabis, we'll deliver to you. So they're actually trying to reach out to the market and try to be, that's where good management comes in, right? They are still not only making the company survive, but they want to grow. So taking care of shareholders. So what happened was, imagine when recovery comes in, when the lockdown is out, especially with their new establishment on Orange County, the new superstore. Imagine that, the recovery play coming in? How will the earnings kick in during a recovery stage? And that's why in my thesis I wrote that the better times are just beginning. And what do we see here, guys? What can I chonteng? Never mind. So what do we see here? Total revenue, TTM, trailing 12 months, is already more than the whole of 2020. Right? Guys, I don't know, man. When I see this, like, damn, this is why, right? This is why the thesis plays out. We get excited, and everything's playing out. Everything's playing out, right? Q2 is more than Q2 2021 is more than 2020. You know, all the earnings are better. They're already profitable EBITDA wise. Yeah, so this is why I want to share, lah, basically. And we don't have enough time. I don't want to be taking too much of your time. But just to share their investor presentation lately, they've been really growing, right? Orange County is already there. Now it's close to Disneyland, is very strategic in a way. But talking to my circle of friends in US, because they have also visited Orange County, they're actually telling me that it's a very weird place. It's like an industrial area, so maybe because the price is cheap, right? And that it's a net cash company, by the way, very little debts. So they have huge cash. The balance sheet doubled, and they're spending little. Right now, they're focusing on acquisitions, but they spend very little on building up the Orange County, inclusive of renovations. But I think I see why, because the land there maybe is cheap, right? It's not really a sexy place, but all in all, the experience that they give is more busy during the weekdays. I, I think that I think bottom lines will still grow, top lines will definitely grow. It's just that maybe it'll be slower than the Vegas Strip, right? So they have a Las Vegas Strip compared to Orange County, California. Yeah, so this is what I think, but I'm still invested in them, and I don't know why my camera keeps on fucking up. Are you still there? Yeah, you can still hear me, right? Yeah, so I think that they still have room to grow. It's just that maybe the Orange County will be a bit slower, but I'm still banging on the whole recovery play, and especially when the summer, I'm pretty sure a lot of visitors, and that's why it contributed. Not during the summer, what happened? Some sales from there, some revenue from there. Yeah, so this is the thesis that was actually built up. They have growing footprint, right? More and more visitors are actually coming. Their brands are actually right still growing, their own in-store brands. Yeah, all these things. Like the K-Gar is actually amazing. I don't want to take up too much time, but yeah, I mean, so why am I showing you guys this? Is that okay? We built a FA standpoint, right? We built a fundamental on this company. Maybe we can look at the TA. I don't know if we have time, but we can look at the TA to, I don't know, combine it now. Are you sharing the screen? Fake, are you muted, dude?
Oh yeah, I muted. Sorry.
No wonder. Okay.
All right. Okay, but I'm sharing my screen, right? Okay.
Okay.
Always happen this thing. Okay, so if you look at technical from daily chart, right? I don't see any entry yet, lah. But this might be how to say spring, right? This might be a spring, meaning that if you look at the high volume here, right? The price drop, right? This is stop for uptrend, meaning that this is where the accumulation to start, right? So the accumulations start here, right? This is a reaction movement, right? Then the building up the resistance, okay, and the price moving along the way, right? And now testing the support, right, with support, okay. So this is right, provided that the counter, right, is maintaining this level between this level, right? So between this level is the support resistance. This is resistance area, this is our support area. Okay. So for entry, I believe if we can see a breakout from this area, this trend line, right? Because this is in Wyckoff we call this over the creek. I forgot the term, but basically when it break out here, right, you can expect it to test the resistance, right, and continue to go up, right. But if that is not happen, right, it will break lower than this support here,
Right.
break lower than the lowest price, right, and we can see the price drop. So if you want to see if there's any entry today, we don't see yet, right? But according to according to Elliott wave analysis, right? We still have that. We still have that group because this is basically maybe only first wave, right?
Right.
So first wave means that this is our below low, right? So we can anticipate around this area to collect back. Yeah. So meaning that if this is really the first wave, this second wave, right? So maybe I draw that. Right. So this is 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 0, 1, 2. Right. So this is 2. Right. Okay. Let's say this is 1. This is 2. If this is really happen, this is really wave 2 going to go up to wave 3, right? That is probably why we see the accumulation area in daily chart, right? So
Right.
that's why this area of support resistance is important. Yeah,
Right.
you get what I mean?
So what you mean is that you want to see some confirmation on how it handles and bounces off the support.
Yep, yep. According to Elliott, it can still go up, right?
Right.
And this go up must start by a good base, right? So a good
Okay.
base normally start with a good accumulation lah. So that's
Right.
my point of
Right.
view lah.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. So there has to be accumulation before it sort of shoots up or it shoots down. Is that what you're trying to
yeah,
say?
yep. So if you want to enter, not yet, right? You want
Okay.
to see the confirmation first, right? But
Okay.
it can turn out that way lah, right? Either the price break out this and continue go up, hopefully, and if the price drop, right, maybe we can see if the price will test the support area around this level, right?
Okay.
Then we
Okay.
can think again. Yeah,
Got it.
is that okay?
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I'm gonna be diamond hand on this one anyway. But we want to explore how TA can actually can help us out on Fata wise in terms of this stock. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and just a quick one, right? Before we sort of move on, let me share my screen for a little bit. I want to be talking about Tattoo Chef, right? So Tattoo Chef is another company that we'll be building a thesis on. We share our thesis as well. In detail, you want to be asking about, our back on the napkin valuation and whatnot. I mean, give us a DM and we'll share. But I posted in our community, right, Fake, that I bought at 1608. Okay. Now, this is another example of following up on a stock, and all we need is a few stocks that we can actually, we want to see the exact reason why is this such a huge drop, right? So for Tattoo Chef's case, they realized the huge net loss is because suddenly the tax, they were realizing a tax because it's actually accounting sort of a procedure. They have to realize a tax which was actually they had a tax benefit, now they had a tax loss, which came in like just recently, right? And this was actually part and parcel of getting listed via how they how they got listed lah. So that doesn't really affect core profits. Okay, exactly the same thing as Dropbox. Now, if we see scenarios like this, the write up that I did was that okay, we definitely see them spending more money. They are expected to be growing, so they need more distribution points in all other grocery stores, right? Walmart and Target, they are one of the top, by the way, top selling products in Target, and other other points. But they are growing SKUs, right? Stock keeping units. They are still innovating in their own products. There's more brand recognition. They're actually spending more on marketing. That's why you see the huge expense. What I'm trying to say is that this is a company in the baby stages. So that's why, in fundamental wise, we can still see them like there still has progress. There has to be progress. But the huge progress is that they've been reaching it to a stage where their distribution points is already 4,000 more than what they give on their guidance last quarter. Okay. So knowing that, I'm like, shit, I see this huge drop. I'm going to be buying. And I did. I was having like a meeting at night, so I couldn't buy at 1590. I bought at 1608 and I told the community. That itself, that movement is like 26% at the top. Now, I'm not showing off, guys, but maybe the market didn't like, right? Wall Street market, they didn't like what they saw. So that's why there was a huge sell off. But why is it going back up again? Right? Maybe it's because the money flow. I mean, there's um there's also like I think was it Morgan Stanley, right? They bought like a huge number of shares in Tattoo Chef. What I'm trying to say is that big money is now starting to realize this company. Fundamentals are not affected at all, in my opinion, right? Uh, their market cap is still very small, right? 1+ billion. They're going to be reaching their guidance, 1 billion in revenues and top lines in 2024, which I think they can easily beat because of their recent acquisition of that Mexican food company. What I'm trying to say, right, Fig, is that this is a perfect example of, okay, I'm following in this stock. I build a thesis on this stock. I see a huge drop. I take it as an opportunity to add another tranche. And I was fortunate enough to be, to be gaining. So in TA wise, maybe you will say that, okay, I need more confirmation on candles. Maybe. Is that, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Coming
Yeah.
to technical, right? The way I look at this, if I have that fundamental understanding, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is a good support to consider to buy.
Yeah.
Right? If I want
Yeah.
to buy on pullback, right? Buy on
Yeah.
pullback. So
Yeah.
this is basically same thing like how I did on DNO. Remember?
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the price like being sold, but I play Warren that one, right?
Yeah.
But I looking at the mother share fundamental. The warrant have been dropped like I think 15%, 20% like that, right?
Okay.
But because I understand the fundamental, I think like this doesn't make sense, right?
Yep.
And it makes me to have a higher conviction to buy and pull back,
Mm-hmm.
right? To
Mm-hmm.
do because certain strategy have a different risk, right, on certain
Yep.
market movement. So during that time, right, pullback is probably not really if you not really understand the business, or maybe if you not really have the idea what DNO do, right, maybe
Yep.
you won't buy on dip, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
because that I take my risk to buy on pullback, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
same it could be the same story like this lah. Yeah.
Got it. Yep. Exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and
So
that's how Fata is. Yep.
that is how far that is. That's why I'm sharing this talk, right? Because
Yeah.
it's such a simple TA perspective that, okay, it reaches support. Maybe the next tranche can be a profit taking one, and we'll be fortunate enough to be gaining 26% in literally 3 days.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, this is the power of Fata and how we can actually utilize, that. Awesome.
So
Yeah, so we got Dylan here saying TTCF. Yo, thanks guys. Thanks for tuning in. Constantine, yeah, I love Constantine, man. He's always looking at our YouTube and laughing at us. Yeah. He was
yeah,
laughing when I
enjoy.
dropped the mic. When I
Yeah,
literally dropped the mic.
yeah, enjoying our
Anyway,
session lah.
yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, if you have any questions, just post it there. If you want to be asking on any, TA perspective, FATA perspective on any counters that you want, let us know. Put it in the chats. We'll be hopefully maybe we can cover that, next Friday.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanna, talk about before we end this?
No, it's just that I want to remind everyone again that we're going to do this every Friday. So hopefully our power of FATA can empower you every week.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That's the goal.
Yep.
That's the goal. We want to empower people no matter what. Yeah. So leave your comments here, guys. We'll definitely be tuning into them. We'll be saving them. Hopefully, bringing up to next week, and maybe hopefully we'll be. I don't know. Hopefully there'll be a huge crash in the middle of the week so that we can actually gain opportunities and we'll be, sharing our strategies moving forward. I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is all, guys.
Yeah. That's good hope lah because we have big cash now.
Yeah, man. No,
Yeah.
seriously,
Right.
we have huge cash
Yeah.
on all the other funds that we're managing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big on cash now. Yep.
yeah, big on cash. Okay, so
And
awesome, guys. Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, what do you want to say?
Lastly, if you guys really enjoy our session, right, and you guys think that our session is really informative and helpful, right, in your investing and trading journey, yeah, share to your friends, give us like,
Please do, guys.
yeah,
Give
yeah,
that share.
please, yeah,
Awesome,
right.
awesome. Okay, guys. Good night. Good night, everyone. Bye
Okay,
bye.
good night.